You spent a lot of time today talking about how people who think that they can beat the market averages are probably fooling themselves, how much tougher it's gotten to be a value investor or even just an investor in general. And I was just wondering, do you think the golden era of investing is over?
Well, not forever.
Why?
Well, because I think it isn't like the last recession or the last big opportunity that the world is ever going to get is past. There'll be opportunities in the future. There are times that are easier and there are times which are harder.
So is right now tougher just because valuations have come up so much?
Of course.
So you think
A, the valuations have come up, and B, the competition sorting through those opportunities is more intelligent and more aggressive and more numerous. Of course it's harder.
Do you think that the
net result is people are going to get worse results?
Do you think that the number of people who are smarter, who have better information than they used to, that will go down, or it will just be a question of valuations coming down at some point?
Well, I think valuations will go up and down because they always have. And I think we'll have smart people in this game forever. Lots of them. The opportunities that we all remember came from a demoralized period when about 90% of the natural stock buyers got very discouraged with stocks. That's what created the opportunity for these fabulous records that my generation had. And that was a rare opportunity that came to a rare group of people, of whom I was one, and Warren was another.
So you're talking...
And people who start now have a much less... they have lower opportunity.
Do you think we saw a generational low after 2008, beginning of 2009?
Generational? Maybe. Yeah, I don't think the Bank of America is going to be cheaper.
Do you think
it was then? Yes, it was low. There were huge opportunities then.
What about just back around December, Christmas Eve? Prices were down 20% and further for a lot of stocks.
Well, I don't follow the details and don't remember the exact days that are. I know that when the Daily Journal bought those bank stocks, it was basically the low tick.
Right.
That was an accident. I deserve no credit for that.
Well, you deserve some credit.
No, well, but the exact perfect timing was an accident.
What about the lack of volatility that we've seen in the markets? That's also kind of, as central banks got into the game and increased liquidity.
Well, of course, it's with all this massive central bank interference. I think that was necessary to do. In other words, I admire the politicians who did it and the technocrats, including the Federal Reserve people. And I think it was absolutely required, and that the danger they were avoiding was worse than the troubles they caused. So, but it was very peculiar, and it did have the accidental effect of bailing out the rich in order to help the poor. And nobody was doing that because they loved the rich. They just didn't have any other tool in the kit, and they had to do something.
So the inequality that came from that...
It wasn't malevolence. Yeah. And it was an accident, and it probably won't happen again. And it's not a permanent conspiracy against the poor. It was an accident that we had the huge recession, caused partly by massive stupidity in finance and venality. And then when we ran out of tools and had to do something really peculiar that we'd never done before, that was a wise thing to do given the amount of trouble we were in. You got to remember that if the trouble had been allowed to run, we might have had a revisitation of the kind of troubles that brought Hitler into power. So we were facing real difficulties. And both parties and our technocrats got together for the last time, I think, and worked us out of it. So it was a very admirable thing in which you can all be proud. I've been proud of nothing in politics since.
This leads me
But
down
it was,
so many
but
roads.
that was a high moment.